Ever pondered why mountain climbers risk their lives to ascend the world's highest peaks? It's like deciding to wrestle a grizzly bear on a whim, isn't it? You have the physical exertion that's akin to bench pressing a small elephant. Then there's the extreme weather, which feels like being trapped in a giant frosty snow globe. And let's not forget the potential dangers. I mean, who wouldn't want to dodge avalanches for fun, right? Well, buckle up, folks. We're about to embark on a hilarious yet inspiring journey to find out. So, let's introduce our protagonist, a man who's more comfortable hanging off cliffs than sitting on a couch. Meet Ted, a fellow who's more at home on a boulder than on a bar stool. You see, Ted is an odd breed, prefers ice picks over iPads and crampons over croissants. Yes, indeed. He's the kind of bloke who thinks a vertical rock face is a smashing holiday destination. Ted's idea of breakfast in bed? Well, that's munching on a granola bar while hanging upside down from a ledge. His idea of a good night's sleep involves a 1,000-foot drop and a sleeping bag strapped to the side of a mountain. And social distancing? Well, he's been doing that since before it was cool. Always a mountain peak away from the nearest human. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, is as unpredictable as mountain weather. One fine day, our hero decides to conquer the most formidable peak he's ever seen. Now, this isn't just any mountain, folks, it's the Mount Everest of molehills. Our hero is not one to shy away from a challenge, no sir. He's the kind of chap who'd arm wrestle a gorilla if he thought it would impress the right people. With a glint in his eye, a swagger in his step, and a ham sandwich in his pocket, he stands at the foot of the mountain, looking up at its towering peaks. He's a bit like a goldfish eyeing up a shark, but bless him, he's got the spirit of an eagle, or at least a very determined pigeon. In preparation for the climb, our hero decides it's best to train. And by train, I mean he does a couple of star jumps, runs around the block once or twice, and concludes that he's in the best shape of his life. He then proceeds to pack his backpack with all the essentials. A map he can't read, a compass that points in every direction but north, and a water bottle filled with his mum's homemade lemonade. He's also got a book on mountaineering, but he's only read the blurb and the last page. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. Our hero, ever the optimist, believes he's more than ready for the task at hand. He's got the unwavering confidence of a man who's just won the lottery, only to realize he's misread the numbers. But hey, who needs experience and proper preparation when you've got guts, right? His family and friends gathered to bid him farewell, offering words of encouragement like, "Don't forget to wear your hat," and "Try not to fall." Our hero, however, is undeterred. He's got his eyes on the prize, and there's no mountain high enough to keep him from getting to the top. And so, armed with nothing but a backpack and a reckless spirit, our hero sets off. Our protagonist begins his ascent, climbing with the grace of a mountain goat on roller skates. Picture, if you will, a ballet dancer, a sumo wrestler, and a squirrel in a blender. That's our hero, defying gravity and quite possibly common sense. His hands, though blistered and raw, grip the icy rocks with the determination of a toddler holding onto their last piece of candy. His feet, clad in boots that have seen better days, scrabble for purchase on the treacherous terrain. But this isn't a man to be deterred by a few minor inconveniences like frostbite or vertigo. He puffs, he pants, he grunts like an asthmatic walrus, but on he climbs, ever upwards. He's not the fastest climber, mind you. A snail could probably give him a run for his money. But what he lacks in speed, he makes up for in sheer, dogged persistence. He stumbles, he slips, he does a few impromptu pirouettes on the edge of sheer drops. But does he give up? Not our man. He's got the tenacity of a terrier with a bone. He's the personification of the phrase, "When the going gets tough, the tough get going." And let's not forget the weather. The mountain, in its infinite wisdom, has decided to throw a temper tantrum. Snow, sleet, hail, it's all part of the package. But our hero, he just pulls his collar up, squints into the wind, and keeps climbing. He's cold, he's tired, he's probably questioning every life decision that led him to this point. But he's also stubborn. Stubborn as a mule that's been told it can't do something. Stubborn as a cat that's been told it's not allowed on the counter. And it's that stubbornness, that absolute refusal to give in, that keeps him going. It's not about the summit anymore. It's about proving to himself more than anyone else that he can do this, that he can face this challenge and come out the other side victorious. Despite the odds, our hero presses on, driven by a stubbornness that would put a mule to shame. Finally, after a journey filled with more twists and turns than a soap opera, our hero reaches the summit. Picture this, folks, our valiant climber, standing atop the mountain, feeling like the king of the world. He's so high up, he could high-five a passing cloud if he wanted to. Our man, who started this journey with the arrogance of a peacock, now stands humbled yet proud. He's got that, "I just climbed a mountain, what did you do today?" kind of swagger. His cheeks are as red as a tomato, not from the cold, but from the sheer joy of accomplishment. His heart, usually as steady as a metronome, is now beating like a drum at a rock concert. Now, let's talk about the view. He can see for miles around, everything from the tiny ant-like people at the base of the mountain to the vast, seemingly endless sky above. It's like he's got his own private IMAX screen showing the most exclusive nature documentary of all time. But here's the fun part. Remember that overconfidence he had at the start? That "I can climb this mountain blindfolded" kind of attitude? Well, the mountain had other plans. It tossed him about like a rag doll in a wind tunnel, humbled him, taught him respect. And now, standing at the summit, he wouldn't have it any other way. He's truly earned his bragging rights. And you can bet your bottom dollar he'll be using them at every opportunity. Did I mention I climbed a mountain? Will become his new catchphrase. He might even get it printed on a t-shirt. In the end, our hero learns that the mountain, like life, is full of unexpected challenges and rewards. You think you've got it all figured out, then boom, life throws you a curveball. But as our mountain conqueror has shown, it's not about the fall, it's about the rise. And boy, did he rise. So what does our story tell us about the perils and pleasures of mountain climbing? Well, mates, if there's one thing we've learned from our adventure today, it's that mountain climbing is a bit like eating a box of chocolates. You never quite know what you're going to get. Will it be a sweet and smooth ride or a nutty and crunchy challenge? You've got to take a bite to find out. Let's reflect on our brave, albeit slightly bumbling, protagonist's journey. As a novice climber, he started off with all the grace of a three-legged giraffe. Yet he didn't let that stop him. With every slip, stumble and slide, he picked himself up, dusted off the snow and carried on. I mean, let's be honest, he was about as likely to conquer a mountain as a hamster is to win a marathon. But as we've seen, underestimating hamsters, or our hero in this case, can lead to some surprising outcomes. He taught us that mountain climbing, like life, is not about being the fastest, the strongest, or the most skilled. It's about perseverance, resilience, and a good sense of humor to laugh at yourself when you're dangling off a ledge like a Christmas ornament. It's about embracing the journey, however steep or frosty it may be. And let's not forget the growth our protagonist experienced. With each challenge he faced, he became more adept, more confident, and, dare I say, more mountain goat than man. He showed us that it's not about reaching the summit, it's about the lessons learned along the way. Lessons of courage, resilience, and the importance of a good pair of thermal socks. So as we wrap up our tale, remember that every mountain in life is climbable, no matter how high or daunting it may seem. Whether it's a literal mountain or a metaphorical one, like trying to assemble flat-pack furniture, remember to embrace the journey and find joy in the challenge. And there you have it, folks. Our hero might not have started as the most likely mountain conqueror, but he scaled that peak with the determination of a squirrel on a mission. So, the next time you're faced with a mountain, remember, it's not about the climb, it's about the hilarious journey to the top.